Welcome to another episode of Talking Awe. I'm Rick Blood, and it's been a pretty good week. I don't have a whole lot to bitch about. Couple things, but a little bit later in the show, I've got a great musical clip for you from a thing that I filmed last Saturday after I got done taping. A great benefit for the Elm City Derby Dames. For those of you who didn't know, roller derby has come back to the city of Keene. And we have, granted, we don't have a men's team, I don't think, but we've got a women's team. And face it, watching the women roller derby, that's top notch. But we'll show that music clip a little bit later. A couple of things, nothing real local. Massachusetts is where this first story comes from. It's a tragic fire earlier, actually last week, took the life of an elderly woman. The day after the fire, I believe it was the head of the Firemen's Union in Massachusetts said he thought that the mayor of Haverhill should be charged with murder due to the fact that 10 days prior, budget cuts went into effect where there used to be 2 firemen on the rescue truck. There is now 1 fireman on the rescue truck. And he was the first to arrive at the scene. And he couldn't go in. Now, there's banterings from both sides. The one side says that it's the fireman's fault. Firemen are supposed to be heroes. He should have rushed in anyway. Well, sure. Firemen are supposed to be heroes. They're not fireproof. So sure, he could have rushed in. And then instead of being 1 dead elderly woman, there would have been 1 dead elderly woman and a dead firefighter. Think about it. Rules for the fire department are set in place for safety reasons. And this is why you have to look hard and long at budget cuts, because you can't take 1 guy off of a fire truck and leave only 1 guy. Because 1 fireman cannot do hardly anything by himself. They work in teams for a reason. 1 guy watches 1 guy's back. He watches his partner's back. It's just the way it is. It's the way it has to be. Until firemen become fireproof. But until then, look at your budget cuts. You can't cut vital services like the fire department and the police department. That's what I'm saying. And, that's the simple truth of it. I don't know if the mayor of Haverhill should be charged with murder. I don't really think so. Involuntary manslaughter at the most. That's all I'm saying. It's the economy. It's the budget. And I guess, I'm not sure if it was the daughter of the woman that died or a relative of the woman that died that said that the fire department should be charged. That's unfair of her too. Fires happen. That's why there are fire departments. But they can't be single-handed fire departments. So, another huge in Scituate last week. I believe it was Thursday. Huge fire down on one of the beaches in Scituate. 4 houses. One of them caught, and within half an hour, all 4 were engulfed in a little neighborhood. You know, huge winds just swept the fire, and it made it fighting and hard to do, and tough week for fires. Luckily, no major incidences in our area in Keene. A lot of talk about school type stuff. You know, around here, the school lockdown a couple weeks ago. Last week down in Massachusetts, and I can't remember what town it's in. Apparently 2 kids were arrested after they posted a bunch of stuff on Facebook about a Columbine-style shooting in this, I believe it was a middle school down in Massachusetts somewhere. And the kids were arrested, and it brought up the whole idea of who should be monitoring Facebook. I mean, the answer is it's pretty obvious. You know, it's the parents. In case you haven't realized, the parents are the key to everything. Sure, the cops could monitor Facebook. Well, you want to throw away your last shred of privacy? Of course, once you go on Facebook, you got no privacy anyway. Whatever you put on Facebook is seen. And it seems to me that even middle school kids get that concept. Because they're more computer savvy than us adults are, for the most part. Well, they said it was meant as, they were trying to scare a bully away or something, but that's not your way you scare bullies away. The fact is, the parents should be keeping an eye on Facebook. Friends should be keeping an eye on Facebook and report the stuff. You know, you can usually spot the kids that are going to go off. Or, there are signs. But as parents, do your jobs. On the other hand, maybe kids aren't responsible enough for this whole online stuff. So maybe you should have to be 18 or 21 to have a social media site membership or whatever you call it in order to be on these sites. I don't know. Maybe that's the answer. Makes a kid yearn for something. Boy, I can't wait till I get 21 when I can go on Facebook. Because there's no governing body for the internet. There's no internet police. Well, there are. They're called parents. So figure out what your kids are doing on the computer. Keep an eye on the stuff they're posting. The stuff is there forever. And don't plan crimes on Facebook, for one thing. I mean, Jesus, that's... Pass your buddy a note in school or something. And then tell him to burn it afterwards. Plan a shooting spree on Facebook. That's like taking out an ad in the newspaper. You know, wanted 3 guys and 15 guns for a mass shooting. Call this number. You know, it's stupid. All right, maybe I should get to this clip now. Yeah, I think I will, because I mean, those are the two biggest things that I saw this past week that just kind of really, they didn't set at ease with me. So, I don't know. Something has to be done with the violence. Maybe we have to teach kids. Oh, and then, no, I'll talk about it after the clip, because it comes back into New Hampshire and with some crazy bill stuff that's going on in Concord right now. So this past weekend, after I got done filming last week's episode of Talking Off, I went to down in Heberton Hall, which is at the other end of our building. And there was a benefit going on down there, a little concert thing called the Jack Frost Jam. And it was to benefit the Elm City Derby Dames, who are Keene's women's roller derby team. And they're a flat track team. They're not on those raised tracks like the old days, you know. But they're flat track, and I looking at some of these girls, I think they're just as mean and nasty, and I bet there's some hair pulling and elbowing and teeth grinding and all kinds of stuff out there on the track. I bet it's very cool. Their first match is coming up. They don't skate in Keene because we don't have a place for them to skate in Keene, which is stupid. Maybe we should get a place for them to skate in Keene. They skate in Brattleboro at the Memorial Park skating rink. And I'm not exactly sure where that is, but get to Brattleboro and ask. That's what I would do. Their first bout is on April 21st at the Memorial Park skating rink in Brattleboro, and the doors open at 6 o'clock, and the whistle blows at 6:30, which means that's when the action starts. Yeah, and let me tell you, if you've never seen roller derby, it's action. And I don't know the rules. Maybe I can sit down with Lisa Spargenburn or Daisy Duke Nukem and have one of the girls explain it to me. But, you know, I bet it's going to be a great night of entertainment. And they don't do that many bouts in the local area. They do a lot of traveling, hence the need for fundraising. But I taped 4 bands that day. I taped 15 minutes or so of each band. My favorite by far was a band called Yeehaw Jihad. I know, it's kind of a weird name. Kind of none of these guys are Arabs though, so it's cool. The thing that got me about this band is that they give off this feel of that like never-ending jam, almost like Spinal Tap's freeform jazz thing that they used to do. You know, that could go on for days and never end. But I picked one of their shorter songs. It's about 5 minutes or so, just over 5 minutes, and I don't know the name of it, but make up your own name. It's a cool song. This is Yeehaw Jihad.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah, great band. Oh, let me tell you. And I'll just jam and jam and jam. Um, so, had a great time. For those of you who weren't there, you missed it. All kinds of great food and snacks and cupcakes and brownies and because, you know, these roller derby girls got to eat good. Uh, a suggestion for Jeff, the lead guitarist for Yeehaw Jihad. Uh, I don't know if you've thought of it or not, but I think you guys should rewrite the song I Fell in Love with a Roller Derby Queen and do that during your shows. And you know why. Um, let me talk about some bills that are over in the House in New Hampshire that I heard about that some of them are kind of crazy. Some of them I think are actually great ideas. Um, and of course, I only heard these because I direct these political type shows like No Spin and Town Crier and stuff like that. And these are a couple of bills that Randy Filio was talking about this past week. I don't have the numbers. I'm sorry, but I'm not really a numbers guy. But just Google House bills and you'll find them. One of them, the one that ties into what I was talking about before the clip with the whole school and guns and things. Apparently there's a bill that's been introduced in the House in Concord that will allow students to carry guns on campus. Right? Is this, I mean, guns and alcohol. Sure. Why not sell guns at the liquor stores? Again, this is the typical thought process of these jerkwads in Concord. I'm not sure. Well, I'm pretty sure. Most of the people in the House and Senate in Concord rode the short bus to school their whole lives. They're not right. Students carrying guns on campuses. Beautiful. Frat parties will be a blast then. Stupid. The other kind of stupid one, which is only kind of half stupid in my mind, is I guess is a bill that would allow people in New Hampshire to drive whatever the hell speed they wanted to drive or something. It doesn't eliminate the speed limits. I believe it eliminates the enforcement of the speed limits. Which, I mean, as a truck driver, I drove through Montana. Montana. And they have signs in Montana on the highways that say speed limit, reasonable and prudent. Other than that, 100 miles an hour. If there's no other traffic and it's a nice day, that's reasonable. So, but then again, you know, at those kind of speeds, even a minor incident happens quick, you know? Yeah, if you blow a front tire at 20 miles an hour, it's a lot different than if you blow a front tire at 100 miles an hour, you know? So in your mind, you have to think about that too. Speed limits are a self-governing thing. I routinely go 5, 6, 8 miles an hour over the speed limit. On the highways, I routinely go 10, 15, 16, 17 over the speed limit. You know, I drive depending on the conditions. And being a smart driver. Because I've got more than 1 million miles under my belt. Or in my back pocket. Or through my gas tank. Whatever. Okay, here's the bill that I kind of liked. This is a bill that will allow local New Hampshire breweries, and I believe they're talking microbreweries type things, to sell their beer at farmers markets. See, now this is a good idea. Although it ran through my head that, wait a minute, Anheuser-Busch is made in Merrimack. So maybe there's a wording in there that would, like I say, restrict it just to like local small business breweries. I mean, I don't think the Keene Farmers Market should sell beer that's made in Conway. We should sell beer that's made, in the region. As well as all of, any farmer's market. It's the whole idea of local. And that's what we've got to get back to in order to save ourselves from the world. We've got to get back to local people taking care of local people. And if the guy next to you brews beer and you make pretzels in your place, hey, why not take some of your pretzels and give them to him and let him give you some of your beer? And what a beautiful friendship is born, right? I mean, that's what it's all about. And the more local you bring stuff, the more friendly things are, the more happy and peaceful. Because you don't deal with outside influences. You deal with your local community. You deal with the people in your community. So I think it's a good idea. And like I said, it's revenue for these companies, because I don't imagine that somebody, that's brewing 50 gallons a year really has the means to get into large supermarkets to sell their beer. So, I don't know. Well, my time is just about up for today. And, I'm not taking it right down to the minute like I did last week. I'm going to have time to say goodbye. So, I'm glad you watched. I hope you think about some of the things I said. I hope you enjoyed the clip. Hey, check out the roller derby girls. I'm sure it's fantastic action. And I'll see you next week. Peace.